Hi, hi, hello, hello. We are continuing our extremely exciting One Piece catch-up-a-thon with chapter 970. This one is called Oden versus Kaido, and it doesn't get much more straightforward than that. We are reaching what I expected to be the climax of this extended flashback arc. Of course, the climax is probably like seeing Roger laugh and cry while landing at Laugh Tale, or it's probably that, or maybe the battle between Roger and Whitebeard, or any number of things that I had absolutely no idea we were going to get from this flashback. Instead, I thought it would be, just the story of Odin and his eventual downfall to Kaido and the adventures he had. So now we are at last getting that as well, and from there I think we're going to transition into much the same fight happening in modern times. Odin, of course, is gone, but his vassals have remained and gained many, many powerful allies in the process. On the cover page, Gang Bej and that other guy with the big hands, whose name is like Vito or something. It's some kind of generic mobster-y, Italian-y name. Big Hands and Big Gunman, both getting locked down by the smooch crazy residents of Dressrosa, totally immobilized, with very poor timing too, because Beja's wife, Chiffon, is being dragged off by some Marines. So I really have no idea where this cover story is going. A lot of other cover stories, it seems like there's kind of a clear objective to reconnect it to the main plot at some time in the future to kind of like free up a character or cause some grand reuniting. I suppose here they're going to meet up with Lola at some point. That's probably going to be the happy ending of this cover story. But to what end? Like, is Lola going to be relevant again? Is Beige going to be relevant again? I don't know. But it's a fun little story anyways. And it's nice to see Dressrosa again. In the back we can see Flower Hill, where a lot of climactic fights took place, still with crazy spikes jutting out of it everywhere because of Pika's powers. Okay, we have some more of traditional Japanese theater, the biwas being played. Bang, 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 bang. I love that the Wano arc has taken on this kind of additional, almost totally non-diegetic aesthetic layer, that it's both an actual story taking place, but then kind of like a stage play that we're watching unfold, both in the present time and even more appropriately in this flashback, which is a story kind of being remembered by all of his vassals. Although, of course, none of these vassals were here for a lot of these Odin adventures, so I'm not really sure whose memory that is, but, that's beside the point. So, yes, the battle is beginning. We see here Momotaro reading a sword fighting book. He clearly hasn't really put that into effect yet in present day, but maybe. Now, oops, I thought this was like a spread for some reason, but it's just a very, very thin panel in the top left. It's not what I expected. Are you so thoroughly prepared? How did you know? I was on my way to cut off your head as you sat on that empty island drinking yourself to sleep. I wasn't expecting a battle of numbers. So we haven't seen it yet, but it seems that Odin and his vassals have confronted not just Kaido, but an entire army. Perhaps I have a spy in your castle. Row. I just had my mansion built. I'd rather not have it used as a battleground, so I came out to meet you instead. A spy in your castle? Who could that be? Orochi is already, often being the shogun and stuff. So who's left? All of the other vassals loyal to Odin have stayed loyal to him even now, so why would they betray? I don't know. Clone fruit again? Whenever I'm in doubt, now I'm just going to immediately suspect clone fruit. Clone fruit. It was all a lie, wasn't it, Kaido? That's right, all lies. Since we are at a disadvantage then. After all, after your return, if you joined forces with Hyogoro, you'd have to deal with all the samurai and the Yakuza of Wano together. We had fewer numbers then, it would have been a difficult battle. So, I guess Kaido had made some sort of arrangement. if you keep humiliating yourself, if you keep going out and dancing naked, then we can live in peace. I will never attack any of the samurai. I won't become unnecessarily violent or whatever. I'll just kind of keep going at my own pace or something like that. And now it's revealed that Kaido had never trusted that deal in the first place, that Kaido had been amassing forces this entire time and persuading forces within Wano to join him and all of these things. I guess I think that's what's going on. I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to explain it more explicitly or if it's just sort of that's what explains all of the characters' actions, and we have to kind of infer it from there. But this is interesting that Kaido was actually vulnerable at some point. That Kaido admits that if they had fought at the outside, he might have lost. This is very outside of Kaido's character. In general, Kaido is much more coherent and strategic, just with it in general, than he is when he appears in present day. I guess maybe he hasn't really turned to drink as much. There's a sense that Kaido is in some ways kind of miserable. He's always trying to kill himself. His very first appearance is when he jumps off the Sky Island to see if that would do it. I don't know why he doesn't just jump into the ocean, because he's a devil fruit user. Did you not think of that? Whatever. Nowadays it feels like Kaido is like not really engaged with the world completely and is more adrift in his own drunkenness and kind of Saitama-esque removal from the world. But this, during his empire building stage, it makes much more sense that he would have this kind of character, much more scheming, diabolical, forward-thinking, considerate. So it's kind of interesting. Like, Kaido's reputation was born during this era, when he's doing things like taking over Wano and establishing himself as one of these great menaces of the sea, one of the Yonko. But now, in present day, when they fight him, he has that reputation, but we don't know if it's warranted. Just like Whitebeard, he could be past his prime. And thus, Oda kind of gets to have his cake and eat it, too. Actually, he kind of did this at Whole Cake Island, too, because Big Mom is old, too. It's a much more literal have your cake and eat it, too. Like, Big Mom is kind of defeated. She's at least shown to have weaknesses and stuff. But because of all of the extenuating circumstances around the battle with her, we can't really say that Big Mom in her prime was defeated. Same with Whitebeard, and same here perhaps with Kaido. That maybe the coalition will actually be able to defeat Kaido as the climax of this Wano arc. Kind of seems like we're going in that direction. It would be a massive downer if they lost again. But we can kind of tell from this difference from seeing past Kaido that today's Kaido maybe isn't in his prime. And yet again, Oda can have this great trick of advancing the plot by having him lose, but still having it ambiguous. Ooh, what was his true power? Anyways, the battle is beginning. Especially if you lived up to your fearsome reputation as a madman who would not blink at any sacrifice. Instead, you chose a method that would not hurt anyone. Newgate and Roger were like that too. Mighty pirates, but soft in their way. And you are one of them, the fool who chose to dance. Stripped to your loincloth, mocked by all. You have none of the old Kozuki dignity. This is an amazing shot. Just the way that we move from looking up at Kaido in close-up to Kaido in perspective of the scenery, to then the vision of Kaido from Oden's perspective, and the way that Kaido is like silhouetted and so huge in the sky like that. Chilling. But yeah, this is kind of interesting. Like it's definitely drawing a line between these two types of pirates, these two types of characters in general, around their ruthlessness, around their willingness to sacrifice, their willingness to not just put their own lives at risk, but the lives of others at risk. And we have seen Whitebeard many times during the war. He's like, please stop following me into battle. Please go home. I'm willing to die. I'm not willing to let you guys die. And then, of course, his family is like, no, we're going to keep fighting. Okay. All right. The wild hooligans of the Animal Pirates, Animal Kingdom Pirates, that is, brandishing their weapons. But Oden slices through. An extremely badass shot. It's all fodder, though. Follow Lord Odin into battle. I wonder if we're going to see, you know, the other emperors within Odin, Kaido's crew, King and Queen and Jack. If we're going to get to see what they were like back in this period. Or maybe they came into the crew later. I don't know. This with samurai, like, they're so tough. We'll fall back. We have the strength of numbers on our side. Okay. See everyone fighting hard. Odin sent a messenger to me by horse. He said his wife and children would be in danger. He asked me to see you. It's already 8. That's definitely not the name I said he had before. I definitely forgot his name and called him something else. I think, I don't know, I don't remember. Must be prepared for the worst. If Odin loses this battle, then this country is lost. Sorry, 1 second. I have my idle game open. Okay. Ominous shot. I like the idea that Wano is such a large country that away from Odin's battle, things are proceeding with kind of relative peace, and only a few people realize that the entire fate of the country is being decided in the capital. I love Koyori kicking Momonosuke in the face here, because Koyori turns out to be quite the warrior. She really establishes her own power by the time we see her again. All right. Ooh. There's our loyal Kunoichi, our ninja lady, who gained a bit of weight, but is still cute in the modern day. Cool. She was watching, of course, the battle between Odin and Orochi, where she was just watching in the rafters, but not really doing anything. I don't really know what's up with that, but whatever. Now she's here. Now she'll help. Shinobu. It's me. I served at the castle believing that the Kozuki would rule once again. But the Furokodo Kuji and the Kozuki Ninja Legion. Ah, yes. So we saw those guys. Those were the ones that patrolled the palace and kind of tried to keep things in order during the whole Komurosaki incident, the whole laughing at Orochi incident. There were some pretty cool character designs. I hope we get to see them in combat during the modern fight. No longer stay in the palace. Do not blame any who would lose faith in a fool of a lord. So this is kind of the other aspect of Kaido's plan, right? They were outnumbered. He was maybe largely unsuccessful in recruiting Wano forces to his cause, given that much of them are still quite loyal to the Kozuki clan. But he was able to undo that by making this arrangement where Odin would dance around in the loincloth. That made a lot of them lose faith in this fool of a lord. Made them reluctantly serve the current shogun as the only source of legitimate power. Okay. Raizo and Shinobu, ninja team up. The rest fighting onward. On one side, 11 samurai ventured into battle. Again, and another amazing shot of Kaido in silhouette in the sky. I don't know, something about that just grips me. It's so iconically powerful. Like, you can tell that Oda had been eagerly awaiting being able to use a dragon character this entire time, that he had all of this imagery. Just as I've been talking about that, Wano had a lot of like charged up imagery as well, that you can tell Oda was waiting to use. Just the size and the sight and the movement of this dragon. Ooh. And the other, 1,000 pirates. So there's Queen, I'm pretty sure. That looks like his puffy ponytail thing. The battle lasted longer than expected, as Kozuki Odin's strength surpassed the enemy's imagination. Big fireballs raining down on him. I like that Kaido poofs up his cheek when he spits fireballs. I don't know, it's just so comical. Everything else about his character design is played like so straight, so sincere. But then like aspects of his personality and a few little like quirks of how he actually behaves make it so clear like this is still a One Piece character. This is still a creation of Oda. Okay, so Oden unleashing his two sword style, trying to go for the fatal cut. Whoa, actually gets an amazing hit in on Kaido. Look at that. Is this the scar? Does Kaido have a scar on his chest? Or am I just thinking of Luffy's scar? I don't know. Now I'm not sure. Well, we'll have to wait and see it. Present Kaido. We'll look for the scar again. But this is an amazing shot. Just an iconic One Piece moment in general. Guy with sword jumping kind of past an extremely large thing, which typically is cut right in half. But again, a testament to Kaido's strength. He only gets a flesh wound. He landed a blow on the invincible Kaido. And Kaido's definitely hurt. He's probably really freaked out that he can't even be hurt. Okay, he rushes in for the finishing blow, but... Help, Father. Have they taken Momonosuke hostage? Of course, of course. And then Kaido quickly transforming back. Ah, it's the clone fruit, of course, of course, of course, of course. Not falling for the clone fruit. You gotta figure out the X system. Zoro figured it out right away. The double bluff, the X's. Poor Oden. His love for his son made him hesitate for just a second. He actually probably could have done it. Kaido was helpless for a moment. But then he gonks him. The spiked Oni club. Lord Oden, Lord Oden. Oh, Shuntamaro getting stabbed too. Oops. The fighting was so fierce that the fires that burned Udon's thick forests did not abate until the rains arrived a full 5 days later. So, I think in silhouette there, perhaps implied to be stabbing Shuntamaro is King, I think. I don't really remember what he looks like, but I know he's got spikes all over him and he's super edgy look. The daimyo of Kuri, Kozuki Oden, and his 9 father-in-laws were imprisoned in the Flower Capital to await their punishment for the crime of rebellion against the shogun. Unaware of the reason behind this act, the populace's reaction was cold. Oh, man. So they were kind of pumped for him to fight way back when he first started, but he blew all the goodwill on the dancing. They totally lost faith in their foolish lord. And now, once they knew he actually did try to fight at last, when they should be able to put 2 and 2 together and think, oh, he was being manipulated into those silly dances. He didn't actually just throw away all his dignity for no reason. Of course, their inherent distrust of him has returned. Their lack of faith in the Kozuki clan. And their submission to the overwhelming power of Kaido's crew. He has no sympathy left. This means that we won't get to see the naked dance every week. It's the only downside to this. So they managed to let Shinobu escape by accusing her of, like the other ninjas, being on the side of the shogun. Makes sense. The sentence for the samurai has been decided. But of course, she knows what happens. The kids are left in ignorance, but she knows what happens. Yasui, looking on in the rain, knows what will happen. In the public square, 3 days hence, the 10 wicked samurai are sentenced to be boiled to death. Now, there's not really much suspense here in some ways, because we know that all but one of these characters survives. That only Oden succumbs to this horrific fate of being boiled to death. So how are the rest of them going to get out of it? I think it'll be a self-sacrifice on the part of Oden. Somehow he negotiates. The rest of these people don't deserve death. Only I alone had the motivation to rebel. But it's not like these people are like freed and it's like, oh, okay, it's all cool. They become outlaws. They go onto the outskirts of society and hide themselves away. So maybe it's more like they escape. Somehow they escape. Shinobu helps them out. But Odin, knowing that Kaido won't be satisfied unless he at least dies, chooses to remain behind and sacrifice himself. Something like that. I'm Odin, so I must boil. Something along these lines. We will find out when the next chapter hits February 16th. We are very close to being caught up, and just in time, too. I think it'll work out nicely that I can read the next upcoming chapter and upload it right away. So it's all very exciting stuff. See you then. Bye bye for now.